and welcome to the next lesson in this series on AWS fundamentals. So today I'm going to be teaching you as to how you can go ahead and create and access logging bucket in Amazon S3. So to put it simply, we will have one Amazon S3 bucket, which we are going to use to actually upload all of our objects. So we'll use it to upload pictures, videos, text documents, etc. And then we're going to create another Amazon S3 bucket, which is exclusively going to be used for logging all of these requests that we make to the bucket where we are actually uploading all of our objects. So it's going to log all of these requests to our login bucket, okay? And this is why it's called an access logging bucket, because it's going to log all of our requests. Okay, but this will make sense when we actually do it. So let's get started. All right, so let's go to Amazon S3. Right, let's just wait for it to open up. Okay, and the first thing that we need to make sure is that we at least have one bucket in our Amazon S3 service here. So make sure you have one bucket, okay, that's important. If you haven't got a bucket here, make sure you go ahead and create one. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so we need to actually now go and actually create another bucket actually. So this will be our logging bucket. So I'm just going to call this here, actually, let's see what the name of my previous bucket was first. So my bucket 96-AP. So to make this make sense, I'm just going to copy the name here. So you can use the same sort of logic I'm doing here. And I'm just going to call this here logging bucket. Okay, so I'm going to log all of the requests that have been made to this bucket here. Okay, my bucket 96-AP. I'm going to log all the requests in this bucket here. Okay, region is fine. We can leave that as default. Okay, everything, we don't need to add anything special. So let's go ahead and create our bucket. Let's just wait for this here. Okay, there we go. So we've created our bucket. Now, like I said, the whole point here is we are going to move all of our logs, okay? Everything that we do in this bucket here, we're going to send all of the logs to our logging bucket, okay? Now, we need to actually set these logs up. So we can go to our source bucket. So you can treat this as the source bucket and this as a destination bucket. So all of our logs will originate from here, and they will be sent to the logging bucket where all the logs will sit. So there will be a bunch of logging files in our bucket here. So let's go here. Great, so we're here now. Now let's head over to properties. Okay, and we can scroll down until we see service access logging. So log requests for access to your bucket. Okay, so we can go and say edit. So make sure you enable server access logging. And of course it says bucket policy will update it. That's perfectly fine. Now we can look for our target bucket by saying browse S3, and we only have, this is the one that we're looking for, the logging bucket. Now just to put it clearly, an example of some of the requests that it's going to log may include when you actually upload an object, if you delete an object, if you move an object, all of those types of things will be sent as log files to our logging bucket. So I just want to make that clear. Okay, so this is the destination, and we can choose that path. Save the changes. There we go. Perfect. Right, so we've done that. So we've enabled our bucket here, okay, to send logging requests to our destination bucket or our logging bucket here. Now let's go ahead and actually upload a few things. So let's go to our original bucket here. Okay, and we already have an object here, but let's go ahead and actually upload a few objects. So we can say upload, and we can say add files. Okay, and I'm going to choose 2 of these files. So you can upload anything that you want. So I'm going to just add 2 files here. Okay, called code.jpg and coding at night JPEG. And it's going to go into my source bucket, which is great. Right, so let's upload that. And close. Okay, so we've done that. Now let's refresh. It's there. Good. Now let's go ahead and delete one of these objects. So delete an object, because we want to actually stir up some, logging type of login requests here. So let's delete this. Let's delete. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is fine. Oh, it looks like we had a versioning here. So let's actually delete that fully. Okay, so I'm just going to permanently delete a few things here. Okay, so the only reason of this is for the fact that we actually are, generating some log files. That's the purpose of doing this. So as you can see here, a lot of these, I've used this bucket before, so don't worry if this looks different from you. The only thing that you must focus on here is actually just going ahead and deleting some stuff. Okay, so delete stuff, and I'm going to upload again. Okay, upload code again. Okay, so you want to generate some requests for our log files. So that's the purpose of what I'm doing here. So do anything that you want here, just upload, delete some stuff, generate some requests. Okay. Now you can go back to your bucket, and you'll know if you go back to the login bucket, you'll see that there's nothing there. So you'll see nothing there. Now the reason for this, it does take quite a while for these logging files to be generated. Okay, it can take hours for this to happen. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So it's going to take some time for these logging files to actually be generated. Now, the time that it usually takes, from what I've read, is that it can take up to about 24 hours before you can start to see the log files here in your logging bucket. So it will take some time before it's generated. So do bear this in mind. Okay, so we're not going to see anything now. It will take about a day or so. So it might take longer than a day. So be sure that you don't delete this bucket just yet. Okay, it will take time. So make sure that you leave it for maybe a day or two. Okay, then come to this bucket again, come and check, and you will see the logging files here, and it will probably display a lot of objects. Okay, depending on the amount of requests that you've been doing and the amount of type of requests that you've been doing, if you've been deleting, updating, modifying files, etc. Okay, your logging files will just increase in number, so do bear that in mind. Okay, so that's it. This is how you would go ahead and enable access logging on an Amazon S3 bucket. Okay, so that's that. Thank you guys.